Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Another season is almost upon us. It's championship predictions time. Hopefully we'll do better than we did last year with these predictions. But yeah, we're going to be predicting the whole league table for the EFL Championship for the 2021-2022 season. So let's just get straight into it. And Nathan, your bottom three teams who are going to get relegated to Division 1 next season.
Starting off with my bottom team, I have got Peterborough United just coming up from League 1. Now I've got some good freebies going in there, such as Jack Marriott from, well, we'll get on to Derby later, and David Cornell from Ipswich as well. But apart from that, they got a great striker in Clark Harris there up front, scoring a hatful of goals last season. But looking at their midfield and defence, it's mainly full of sort of that League 1 dribble, you could say. I'm not sure if it's going to do well in the Championship. Might need a bit of time to get used to the league, but I just don't think there's enough aside from their attacking options there. I think they're going to struggle and finish bottom, unfortunately. In 23rd place, no surprise here, Derby County. What a mess it is down there at Pride Park. I mean, there's absolutely no depth with that squad. They've only got 13 first-team players, which is nowhere near enough. They've essentially released their whole team at the end of last season, you could say. Got some okay players in there, such as Joswiak, Tom Lawrence, David Marshall, Kazim Richards, but Wayne Rooney. Apart from that, if one of those get injured, they are in massive
they got
trouble,
the youth set up there, haven't they? So
I don't think it's enough for them though, and they're going to get relegated, especially if they get the incoming points deductions as well. They're going to struggle this season, and they've got no centre backs. That's going to be interesting. 23rd. In 22nd, I've gone for Huddersfield. A mass exodus out of that club. Loads of players either being released or leaving on free transfers there, not bringing in too much quality either, aside from Jordan Rhodes, and that's about it. I mean, Alex Pritchard, Schneider, Jalen Brown's left. Lots of just, where do we go with this? Carlos Corberan, he's done okay at Huddersfield. They have been drifting down the league ever since they got relegated from the Prem, and I think this is the year they're going to go back down to League 1. Finished 20th last year, they're going down this year.
Yeah, so my bottom three, I've actually gone for Derby County finishing rock bottom.
People are going to do
we
that.
know that the troubles that they're in with, what is it, they didn't file their accounts in time a couple of seasons ago, or a season ago. It's a threadbare squad. They've got a few trialists there, the likes of Ravel Morrison. Now, it's just been trouble wherever he's gone. Never really set to, he's never really fulfilled his potential. Phil Jagielka, he's still rolling about. Maybe they'll offer him a contract. Also on trial there, they've got Tom Carroll. He's a decent player, played for Swansea in the past, and spent a lot of his time at Spurs as well. But yeah, Derby, rock bottom. Sorry, Derby, going down this year. In 23rd position, I've gone similar to you, Nathan. I think you went bottom. I've gone for Peterborough to finish in 23rd position. Okay, Jack Clark Harris. Can he score the goals to keep them up in division? Not too sure. Jack Marriott, though, from Derby is a pretty decent free transfer, though, for Peterborough, but I think ultimately they will go down. In 22nd position, I've gone for Huddersfield. A lot of people are tipping Huddersfield, the Terriers, to go down as well. The only decent, real brightness that I've seen is this young on loan, I think he's a right back, Levi Colwell from Chelsea. Looks a decent player, but ultimately I think Huddersfield struggling for the past
not enough quality
couple of seasons after coming down from the Premier League, and I think they will go down. So next we're going to look at 21st up to 17th. These teams probably going to avoid relegation, but in a bit of a dogfight. So in 21st, I have gone for Blackpool, another of the promoted sides. You usually get one or two of them going straight back down, but I think Blackpool will survive by the skin of their teeth. They got Gary Medine playing for them, so he's familiar. He scores a lot of goals in the first division.
Plenty, yes.
Can't seem to do it when he gets up into the Championship. Although I can't remember if he did business with Bolton though.
He did. That's the only side he's done it with.
Of course. So in 20th position, now this is going to be a bit of a surprise. I have gone for Bristol City.
That's going to annoy a lot of people.
It is. Now they've lost a lot of players in the
They still have quite a strong squad, though.
They do have a strong squad, and they brought in Matty James and Andy King, although Andy King's coming to the end of his career. Both of those guys from Leicester. Matty James is a pretty decent player, but a lot of players have gone out the door, and Nigel Pearson, really, they shouldn't be going down with a manager like him. But I think they'll probably have a good start, as they usually do. Probably be up around the playoffs, or even hitting those top two. The Bristol fans will say, "Oh, we're going to win the league," and that's what's going to happen. They're going to drop like a stone, and
they always do.
And they're going to end up in some like 20th position. So sorry, there, Wurzel fans. In 19th position, I've gone for Coventry. Coventry had a very good season, you could say, last year, but I think they are back in the Rico. That may, be beneficial. So then the fans will be in fine fettle and fine voice. I think they've signed something like a 10-year deal with Wasps, I believe, for the ground there. So
even though it should be the other way around.
Yeah, that's
shocking.
Right. But they're back in their home, which is good to see. I think they'll be in the division again. I think they've made quite a few signings as well.
They brought in
Martin Waghorn as well. He's
Simon
been around
Moore is a good signing as well.
He's an okay keeper coming in from Sheffield.
He's good for this level. Great backup as well.
And Victor Goykeres.
You're having a laugh?
Well, yeah. Didn't he? Wasn't he on loan at Swansea or something? Couldn't hit the back of the net, could he? So,
it says something when you have Swansea fans eating cucumbers if he scores.
But yeah, maybe that's not the best signing. But
shocking.
19th position anyway. Now in 18th position, this is going to come as a bit of a shock to most people.
Comments.
A lot of people have been saying that this team's going to finish in around the playoffs, with even automatic promotion. I'm going for Swansea City. Now that's nothing to do with a Cardiff City Swansea bias or anything like that, but they've lost the manager in Steve Cooper. Looks like he was pushed or walked. Upon being backed, they've lost a lot of their best players. Ayew up front. Matt Grimes looks like he's on the verge of signing for Fulham. I think something in the region of 4 million. They were going to bring in John Eustace from QPR, who did quite well in Kidderminster in the non-league. Got him playing some really good football. I think they've reached the playoffs in non-league as well. But he's decided to stay at QPR. There's rumours of Jody Morris going in at Swansea, but there's even the right back for Wales who plays
Connor Roberts.
Connor Roberts. A couple
Could be on his way out.
Little rumours.
Burnley 4 million.
A centre back as well.
Mark Gay, he's gone.
He's gone. So the spine of their team. It's just not. It's looking a bit of a shambles there down at the Liberty, and I think they're going to get off to a bad start. They've had issues as well with the demonetised virus in the last few weeks, losing their manager. It's not looking good. So 19th position, sorry Jacks fans, and in 17th position I've gone for Preston. Now Preston, it's like sorry Preston fans, but you've got to say this could be one of the most boringest teams in the division.
Absolutely.
They're always in around either just above halfway, just below, but they never seem to produce anything exciting.
They're
just there. I know. I don't think they will go down. They bought in Izzy Brown, and he's for
free transfer.
But it's not laughing, because Izzy Brown in one of his first training sessions he's gone and ruptured his Achilles.
Disaster.
Frankie McAvoy, he came in, was it round about March,
placed Alex Neil after his mind-numbing football. So
whether they can improve on last season, I don't know. I've gone Preston in 17th, just below mid-table. So
interesting. Right, moving on to my 21st to 17th. Coventry 21st, just staying up by the skin of their teeth. Got a good sort of foundation in defence and midfield. Good manager in Mark Robbins as well. But where are you going to get your goals from? I mean, a closer retirement than Martin Waghorn and Victor Gyökeres, who his shot's going to the moon and he can barely kick a ball. Where's the goals going to come from? 21st. Then in 20th, Blackpool. Martin Keogh is a great signing from Huddersfield on a free transfer. He may be old, but he's great reinforcement at the back.
That is a bit of experience there. So
that's what they need in that squad as well. Good squad coming up from League One, but if you've got Gary Medine starting, then you're not going to see many goals. Neil Crickley, you could say he's a good manager, getting him in the league. I think they're going to do okay this season. 20th. In 19th position, I've gone for Hull. They've won the league in League One in first position. Bringing in Nathan Baxter from Chelsea on a loan deal, that looks like a good one as well as another player on loan for Brighton too. They're going to be fairly decent. They should stay up. 19th position. 18th, like you, 2 places above, I've gone for Bristol City. Nigel Pearson bringing in his Leicester comrades in Andy King and Matty James as well.
Yeah,
but
Matty James is decent, but I don't think he can save them too much.
He needs to be backed, Nigel Pearson, especially with the way that if you look at how he did at Leicester as well. Squad depth could be an issue, especially if they're star men, especially Naki Wells, to name a few as well. Callas at the back, if they get injured, you could have a few issues there. So I think they might have a few injury issues this year. 18th position, and then 17th, I've got Luton Town. Lots of free transfers going in there. However, you've lost your star man in James Collins up front. I think it was expected that he was going to leave at the end of his contract anyway. Haven't really replaced him up front. I'm not sure where the goals are going to come from going forwards. But apart from that, yeah, you should have a fairly okay season. I'm going to say 17th, even though that's down from 12th, which could be quite disappointing. Moving on from 16th to 12th place. In 16th, I've gone for Swansea. Controversy alarm. Well, it's not really a controversy alarm, considering Steve Cooper, probably one of the best managers in the league, has left. You've lost Andre Ayew, Freddie Woodman, Mark Gahey, Matt Grimes is going to go to Fulham. You've lost the entire spine of your team. Left with some okay players, but nowhere near good enough to push up the league as well. Looks like Conor Roberts is going to Burnley for £4 million too. You bought in Joel Perot as well for 1.8 million, I think.
PSV Eindhoven, and they got the young striker as well. He was fairly decent.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Morgan Whittaker, but
he's all right.
He's all right, but it's just not enough for him, and you don't have that experience going forward up front. You've got Jamal Slow, of course, but he blows hot and cold as anything. So inconsistent. You're going to struggle this year. I take 16th, and with some of the Swansea fans saying, "Oh, we're definitely going up this year. We're going to get John Terry in as manager, Frank Lampard, or ex-Swansea player." Right. Well, what I need you to do, Swansea fans, especially those lot, because there's a lot of Swansea fans who say they're going to have a disaster season this year, and they know it. Is we just need to drag you down and pull you back down to reality, which is this, and you're going to finish around mid-table. Next up, in 15th, we've got Preston. As you keep saying, they're just kind of there.
They were the giants of the English game back in like the 1950s and before that.
Apart from not so much now. There's not much quality either going forward. You've got Scott Sinclair, but he's just old now, isn't he? Average in midfield. Sean Maguire's there as well. Going back, just Championship mediocrity. Frankie McAvoy's first season as well. Don't know how long he's going to last, whether he'll last the season, but yeah, 15th mid-table mediocrity. Next up, I've got Birmingham City in 14th, getting some great signings on loan in Tae-Hin Chong from Man United. He looks a great youngster. Also bringing in Juan Castillo from Chelsea as well. Some good youngsters there in Lee Boyer's squad as well. Birmingham City legend, of course, who was the captain when they lifted the Carling Cup or whatever it was called back then. I think they'll have an improvement on last season where they finished 18th. They're going to finish 14th, adding to a good squad with the likes of Vukovic and Pedeston, even though it is starting to age a little bit. So they're going to have a bit of a transition period soon. In 13th, another controversial one, I think. Going for Reading, haven't bought in any signings, losing some really good players as well, such as Olsey, £8 million to Crystal Palace, as well as Omar Richards, their left back, going to Bayern Munich as well on a free transfer.
There's talk
great youngster there as well.
Puskas going to for a team in Italy as well, but that's just a rumour.
That's just a rumour. He hasn't really been scoring for Reading, but he can be dangerous.
He was injured a lot.
Quite injury prone, but could be a good striker. Just needs to get his shooting boots on really, and then Mate, well, he always scores against us, doesn't he? And probably will score 2 hat-tricks against us this year. They're going to dip a little bit. Paunovic, second season syndrome a little bit for him. I think they're going to finish 13th. Then in 12th place have gone for Millwall. Going to be another solid season for them, trying to push towards those playoff places. Just not enough for him though. Gary Rowett in there. He's a good manager at this level, you could say. Brought in some great players as well, such as Scott Malone, Benica Phobie as well.
Scott Malone, great player.
Well, solid player, yeah. Then Dan Ballard as well, coming in from Arsenal on loan as a centre back. Going to do okay this year. 1 place below where they finished last year in 12th position.
So my 16th to 12th position, I've gone in 16th position, newly promoted Hull City. I think they've got enough there, momentum wise, coming up from the first division. So I've actually gone for them in 16th position. A little bit of a shocker, this one, in Barnsley, in finishing 15th position, did ever so well last season. They've lost their manager, of course, in Ishmael, going to West Bromwich Albion. Ishmael, of course, has taken Alex Mowat to West Brom with him as well. So how they cope with those two departures, I'm not too sure. Maybe they were punching above their weight a little bit last season, but they play good football, and they sort of taken over not taken over the mantle, but sort of the model that Brentford employ and how they sign players as well. That's what they do there, Barnsley. So they should be all right. It's probably a mid-table finish for Barnsley. In 14th position, Reading. We know that they got a transfer embargo on them, losing a few of their players. Their manager has actually stuck around with them. Was it Panovic for a little while now? He's been there almost a year, I would say.
Yeah, just over a year.
So all coming up to a year. In 13th position, I've gone for Birmingham. I think they had a pretty decent end to the last season, blooding a lot of youngsters as well, which will bode well for this year. Bringing in quite a few players like Ryan Woods, Jordan Graham,
Dion Sanderson as well.
Yeah, Dion Sanderson played well when he was on loan at Cardiff and was at Sunderland. Yeah. He's a good prospect. Okay, consistent. He is young, but he is a decent signing for Birmingham. So I think they're going to do a lot better than they have for the past few seasons, which will see them in mid-table. In 12th position, I've gone for Luton Town, another team that's strengthened a lot this close season. Henry Lansbury is a really good championship player, lots of experience there, so that'll probably consolidate them in the middle of the table. Maybe with a little bit of luck they can head towards the playoffs, who knows. It's such a tough division, but Luton should have no trouble getting at least a mid-table finish. Next we've got 11th to 7th position. Now in 11th I've gone for Millwall, another one of these teams sort of almost in touching distance of the playoffs. I think you've got them a little bit lower
just
than me,
missing
Nathan,
that final piece really.
Yeah, they do a little bit more excitement, a little bit more guile, you could say, going forward, but another solid season for the Lions, which will see Millwall finish in 11th position according to myself. Blackburn haven't signed any players. They've lost really Harvey Elliott, which could be a little bit of a blow, because he really set the division alight last year. Can they keep hold of Adam Armstrong? If they can, and if they can create the goals for him, Bradley Dack should be back to a full season surely with Blackburn as well. So I think they're going to have an okayish season. Blackburn not quite reaching the playoffs, so I can see them finishing in 10th. Stoke City, bit of a weird one for me. Stoke promised so much last season. They've been tipped to sort of get into the playoffs last week, but it's never quite materialised for them. They did well last season, sort of tailed off towards the end of the season, and I think another sort of top 10 finish for them is within their grasp. Now in 8th position, this could shock you, being a Cardiff fan. I've actually gone for Cardiff to finish in 8th position. Now going forward, creativity is...
It's been a problem.
It's been a problem. We've got good strikers, 20 goals last season in Kiefer Moore, and bringing in James Collins in for Luton is a masterstroke.
He's always scoring in pre-season.
He is. He's scored 4 goals so far in pre-season, but it's in the Championship. He needs to do it, which he did with Luton, of course. He normally scores around about 10 goals. And if him and Kiefer Moore can hit the ground running, then who knows, Cardiff could finish in the playoffs. But it is in that midfield area, the likes of Bacuna, Joe Rolls, Will Volks. Is there going to be enough creativity? We have brought in Ryan Giles, who has been doing well in pre-season on loan from Wolves, and he looks an exciting prospect. Whether he'll be playing as left wing back instead of Joe Baugan, or just they'll be swapping around themselves, who knows. Defensively, Cardiff should be fairly sound, especially if Morrison is fit from the start of the season. Without him, then it is a little bit leaky, that Cardiff rear guard, but they should be knocking on the playoff positions. But I don't think Cardiff are going to make it somehow. But it is a season when a lot of youngsters are going to be blooded again. Like Ruben Colwell went away with Wales in the Euros, and another season, or if he can get about 10-15 starts this season, that would be good, along with quite a few of the other youngsters that are coming from the academy. But I can't see Cardiff quite reaching the playoffs this season. And in 7th position, I have gone for Middlesbrough. Neil Warnock, wily old character that he is. I don't think they've got that much quality that they've got, but they've got good, solid, hard-working players. could be a problem scoring goals, but they have brought in Ikpenza, I think he's called from Wickham. Remember him from last year. He is a handful, and he looks a
He's the Britus on Malonga replacement.
He's a handful for anyone. I think they brought in Amiobi as well from Nottingham Forest, which.
Bit of a beanpole, isn't he?
He is, and he blows hot and cold, but on his day he's a decent enough player. But I've gone for Middlesbrough, knocking on the doors of the playoffs, but finishing in 7th position.
So going from my 11th to 7th and 11th, we've got Stoke. It's an ageing squad, it's a defensive squad. Michael O'Neill, defensive football. They're going to struggle to score goals this year, especially if you're going forward. Very old Sam Vokes is still there.
Well, rumour is he could be going down into the first division for Wickham.
You never know, but Stoke are always around there, but just nowhere near enough for the playoffs, and they're going to struggle again this year. In 10th position, I've gone for Barnsley. They've lost their manager. They've lost Alex Mowat. They've still got some great players there in Collie Woodrow, Callum Styles, sort of players like that, but Marcus Schlopp... Who knows? I think 10th. Could be knocking on the door, but just not enough. In 9th, I've gone for Blackburn. It's actually one of the most valuable squads in the Championship, aside from the top 3, Bristol City, Cardiff, those sort of teams around there.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Really expensive squad, but no signings as of yet. If it stays fit, and also if Adam Armstrong keeps firing, and if Bradley Dack gets back into the side without picking up 10 million injuries a year, then they could be really knocking on the door for the playoffs. Tony Mowbray, how long has he been at that club now?
4 years.
4 years. 4 years of Tony Mowbray. Wow. It is a young squad as well, may I add. So I think they're going to do well this year. 9th. In 8th position, I've gone for Middlesbrough. As you've said, hard-working squad. They're going to be knocking on the door as well, but just not enough. They are missing that real spark, you could say, in midfield and going forward as well. If they get that, they're getting in playoffs automatics. But yeah, just not enough, unfortunately, for them. And then in 7th, this is controversial, but there's a pattern. West Brom in 7th. Yes, they have brought in Alex Mowat. Yes, they have brought in Matt Clark from Ipswich, but that's about it. Got some good players in there, so like Callum Robinson.
A lot of players have gone out the door.
Callum Grant. Yeah, there's quite a few.
Callum Grant.
Just releasing quite a few players there, but Charlie Austin going, but Pereira.
I think Pereira didn't he? He was supposed to play in a pre-season refused to play. Not good.
Not good at all. If the reason I put him in 7th is if they lose him, they're not making it into the playoffs at all. Really, such an important player. If they lose him, it's game over, I think, personally. But Vladimir Ismail, he'll need to take his time with that squad. It's going to take time to gel as well. Stepping away from Barnsley at such a good point, I think that's going to hinder him a little bit as well. There's a bit of a pattern there, I must say, with West Brom, as I was saying earlier. They never bounce back straight away, and they always miss out on the playoffs as well whenever they get relegated. They've only done it once, and that was in 2009, 2010. Apart from that, they do like to take their years out of the Premier League, especially if they go straight back down. So,
unlike Norwich, then.
Unlike Norwich, I'm going to go 7th.
Interesting.
In 6th position, I've gone for the Bluebirds, Cardiff City. I think we will just have enough. I mean, James Collins, Kiefer Moore up front. If they stay fit and get service, especially if Ruben Cole gets his breakout season.
We know that Tomlin can do it, but he's 32 now.
He is.
He's
injury
he doesn't
prone.
Look fit, but he has been playing in pre-season. Hopefully, if Tomlin in the Championship can work wonders, but it's that creativity that they lack Cardiff. So
I think Ruben Colwell's going to have his breakout year this year and start to develop things and push things forward. Solid defence if it stays fit, of course. Interested to see how Mark McGuinness on loan from Arsenal play in that defence as well. Depends which player he drops there. Joel Bagan, Perry NG, and Ryan Giles, Perry NG. Imagine the service to the strikers.
Perry NG is the second year in the Championship. Did ever so well coming in last season.
Brilliant. I think we're just going to have enough, and personally I think we could even finish higher than that. Anyway, moving on. Next up, in 5th place, I've gone for Nottingham Forest. Chris Hughton, really good manager at this level, getting Newcastle and also Brighton promoted as well in very little time as well, with, you could say, squads that could be a little bit improved as well, but he's got a great squad at Nottingham Forest as well, bringing in some good players as well. Ethan Horvath coming in from Club Brugge as well, good American men's national team goalkeeper, and they've got Samba as well. two great goalkeepers of that squad. They've got squad depth all over the pitch. They're going to have a great year, Forest. They're going to solidify themselves in the playoffs, not bottle it like a few seasons ago, and not bottle it like they did at the start of the 2010s as well. I think they could even get to the playoff final this year. So yeah, 5th place, I'm going to go for Forest. In 4th, I'm going to go for Sheffield United. No players in yet. Johanovic, he's a very attacking manager, but he always has weak defences. However, you don't really need that in the Championship if you've got a good squad. I mean, if you look at the team that he's got now, it's a very defensive it's a very defensively organisated squad, especially with Chris Wilder being in there last season. He has got Ryan Brewster there as well. Has done it in the Championship before, but
wouldn't Oliver McBurney as well?
Oliver McBurney, Oliver Burke. Oh, imagine that in the Premier League.
They were last season, weren't they?
Shocking. The real question is, how will Johanovic cope with a defence and a strong defence as well? That's why I don't think they're going to finish in automatics this year, and they'll finish 4th. In 3rd position, I've gone for Bournemouth. Scott Parker, mind-numbingly boring football, you could say. I mean, they love to have about 81% possession, but nothing goes in the net.
Harry Wilson, though, that's awesome signing.
That's a brilliant signing, but showing their financial might, £12 million.
In 12 months in advance as well. I don't think they're paying them for
how do they get away with it, Fulham? Also bringing in Marcondes from Brentford as well, but Danjuma looks like he could be going to Valencia. I believe they've had an offer rejected, but that still could go through. Massive lost there if they lose him. But I'll be very interested in this one. I don't think they'll just have enough for the top 2. Yeah, Scott Parker, it's just the style of football with Scott Parker with me in certain aspects. Like Solanke, he doesn't exactly score too many goals either. He scored a few last season, but it's just not enough, I don't think. But strong squad, not enough for the top 2, unfortunately. So that is my playoff spots.
Right, my playoff spots. Yeah. Starting off in 6th position, I have gone for the Blades of Sheffield United. Okay, they got attacking wise, they should have decent enough strikers for the Championship to get in those playoffs. There's talk of them looking at Harvey Elliott as well, and an addition of him in the centre of the park there would be absolutely amazing. Norwood's a very good player for
good player.
Sheffield United as well, and should tear at the division, you could say. In 5th position, I have gone for Queen's Park Rangers. Very good towards the end of last season. Mark Warburton did a very good job. Of course, he has got John Eustace as assistant manager, which turned down Swansea, of course. But Charlie Austin up top, and they've just signed Stefan Johansson as well, or looking to seal that deal. So QPR doing bits in the transfer market, and I think they'll have a very good season. In 4th position, I've gone for Nottingham Forest. I seem to always tip Nottingham Forest to finish in the playoffs or go up automatically. They always let me down. Will they do it again? Don't know. I do like their defensive pairing though of Worrell and McKenna, Scottish international. I think he played in the Euros one match as well. So they got quality all over the pitch, Nottingham Forest, so they should get into the playoffs without too much trouble. In 3rd position, I've gone for Fulham. High spending, although a lot of that money doesn't look like they're going to be spending it until next season for some reason. Harry Wilson, as we've already said. Mitrovic, they've got Bobby Reid is a good player at this level. Anguissa, very good at the base of that midfield. Let's move on now, Nathan, to the top 2. Who we think is going to go up in automatic promotion. Runners up for me in 2nd position, I'm going for the Cherries. Bournemouth, they got a very good squad. I think you mentioned just now Danjuma. I think it's Villarreal actually put a bid in for him. They turned it down. So if they can keep hold of him, David Brooks didn't play. I think he was injured a lot.
He's mostly
last season. So if he can get going in the rest of their squad, I can see them pushing on another season. Well, it was one season in the Championship. They really need to do something this season or next season, or I can't see them getting back into the Premier League for a number of years because of the parachute payments and all that. So I think this is the year they're really going to go for it, and I think they will. I think they'll come runners up. But my champions for the Championship 2021 to 2022 is West Bromwich Albion. I think you mentioned they have never bounced back, or they've only bounced back once. The first time of asking, but I think they will, even without Pereira. We think that Pereira will be going. Not sure where he'll be going, but they do have some, as we've said already, Keylon Grant up front is a good player. And they've also got Kenneth Sahor. Now remember, Kenneth Sahor...
Great in the Championship at times.
Well, he's good at the Championship at times, and there's a real handful for defensive. Whether he can do it on a consistent basis is another thing. He can't do it, but he is a handful at times. But looking through their squad, decent. Is it Sam Johnson?
Yeah.
English international goalkeeper. They've brought in Moat as well, and of course they are now managed by Valérien Ismaël. So West Brom, my champions this coming season.
Interesting. My second place is actually going to shock a lot of people. I've gone for QPR.
Wow.
Charlie Austin in goal. Elias
In
Chair.
goal? In goal?
No. Charlie Austin up front. Elias Chair in midfield. Sam McCullum coming in on loan from Norwich. They are developing that squad. It looks special. Mark Warburton, been there for 2 years now. Really, this is going to be the year they're going to push. It's a real underrated squad. I think they're going to do things.
They brought in Jimmy
Dunn
as well from Burnley.
Jimmy Dunn, great signing. Stefan Johansson as well. Really, really good signings there. Already to add into a developing squad as well. Finished 9th last year, constantly improving. I think they're going to go up automatically this year and be in the Premier League for the first time since 2015. And top of the league, well, Fulham. No surprise there. Marco Silva, only concern about him is aside from his days at Hull, he's always had poor defences. Well, we all know Everton. Fulham with their defences. Yes, Everton in particular as well. But the thing is with the Championship, we saw it with their predecessor in Slavisa Johanovic as well. Didn't really need a defence to play the football that he played a few years ago in the Championship, going up in the playoffs. I think they're just going to do it again, splashing 12 million for Harry Wilson, bringing in Gazzaniga from Tottenham as well. Great signing in goal.
And possibly Grimes. If they get that in, that's a very good signing too.
If they get Grimes, they are absolutely winning the league. And you know what? I'm going to say something bold right now. If they get Grimes in, and maybe if they sign another player on top of that as well, and they don't sell anyone else, they're going to finish the league on over 100 points.
Wow. Even though their style of football should change now, shouldn't it?
It will under Marco Silva, but over 100 points, one of the first teams to do it, I believe, aside from Wolves. Reading have done it, and I think it might have been Sunderland as well.
And I was looking forward to going away to Craven Cottage, but it's
once again midweek,
whether we can get time off work and all that, we shall see. Maybe there will be a vlog for that match, we'll see. So that concludes our predictions for the EFL Championship for the 2021-2022 season. We will be bringing our predictions for the Premier League final positions as well, probably in around about a week's time, just before the Premier League starts. But before we go, Nathan, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yep, as we always do, first manager out the door.
First manager? Do you think Nigel Pearson could be that guy?
Don't think so.
Too big a character, maybe?
I've got 2 or 3 in mind, but
actually, caretaker charge of Swansea at the moment is I should say that, Alan Tate, Beaker from the Muppets. But Jody Morris could be going there.
Yeah, I think if whoever the new Swansea manager is, I think he'll be out the door first. Either that, or I think it's going to be Michael O'Neill, Carlos Corberán, or another bold one, Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney. If at
they might
Christmas,
just pull the plug.
They might do.
Bring the wage budget down.
But if they're cast adrift by about 10-15 points, is there any point?
No
Maybe
point.
They'll go down to League
Let him rebuild in League One.
That's right. If they go down, you never know, they might survive. But thanks for watching once again, guys. Remember to leave your predictions in the comments section. We can have a good laugh at yours. We've probably had a really good laugh at some of our predictions in this Championship predictions video. But for now, we'll both bid you farewell, and we'll see you all in the next video.
Cheers, guys.